Hi guys, Sarah here. Today's video is about 20 ways to get sweet revenge on a narcissist. So let's first talk about revenge and where it comes from. Revenge is wanting to get back at someone. Revenge is wanting to hurt someone, and hurt people. You know this because the narcissist is hurting inside and they hurt you constantly. And revenge is you wanting to hurt them back for them having hurt you. They've hurt you in a number of ways. They've hurt you mentally, they've hurt you emotionally, they've hurt you spiritually. And you probably are hurting because there's a part of you that realizes that you allowed that. You allowed that treatment to occur. You didn't want it, you didn't welcome it, but part of you enabled it and allowed it. So you're hurting and you're mad at yourself too. So part of it is wanting to get rid of that hurt and give it back to the person who gave it to you, which is the narcissist. But trying to seek revenge on someone who's already hurting is a lost cause. Where the place of wanting to seek revenge comes from, it's done by our ego. It's done by that place inside of us that is hurting, that is a wound, an inner unhealed wound, because once it's healed, it doesn't have the same impact. But there are places within you that are hurting and unhealed, and those are the places that you want to use to get back at that person. Revenge at the narcissist. And what that is really done by is by your ego, by your bruised and wounded ego that says, watch me. Oh, you think you can mess with me? Watch this. And the ego wants that other person to suffer. What most people don't want to do is accept that that other person does not care. I cannot tell you how many crazy things that I did years ago when I was in a relationship with a narcissist. I mean, like burning clothes, throwing all of his stuff out of the house, stabbing his tires, taking away his license plate so that if he were to go drive, I could call the police and report him. All of those crazy things I did and a lot more were because I was hurting inside, because the relationship was not changing, it was not improving, it was not getting any better, and I was giving a lot of time, attention, energy, and effort into trying to create that change, but I was doing it from a very, very wounded place. I was doing it from a place of me holding on to the pain that I had, that he gave me, from my own inner unhealed wounds, those that led me into that relationship in the first place. And what we're wanting to do is make that person struggle and suffer because we're struggling and suffering. But what you've got to know, to accept, is that that person does not care. If that person does not care about you, if they did, they wouldn't have done those things to you that they did in the first place. They don't care that you're feeling sad. They don't care that you're feeling hurt. They don't care that you are affected by the things that they did. And therefore, because they don't care, and they're not going to be affected by your attempt at revenge. So if they don't care how you're hurting, struggling, and suffering, you trying to make them hurt, struggle, and suffer is not going to impact them at all. And I know that that's not fun to hear because our ego likes to get in the way, and we like to say, oh yeah, this is really going to get them. Watch this. But all you're doing is wasting your time, your energy, your effort by staying in that pointless space of wanting to hurt another person who when they're not well themselves, they're already hurting. So it's just gonna be like, oh, okay. It's not gonna make them come to some incredible realization and wake up, so to speak. So no matter what amount of hurting you try to do to cause them to hurt, it'll never take back the hurt and the pain that they have already caused you. And all you're doing when you try or attempt to get revenge is letting that person know that they still have control over you, because they can do something to you, they can poke you or trigger you, and then you seek revenge. To them, it's like, they still care. Like, watch this. I can still get them to do that. They can still get you to do things. So you're just letting them know that they still have control over you. And is that really what you want? No, because they've had control over you for however long now. When they had that control over you, they used it and abused it and used it to hurt you. And now trying to seek revenge to that is just going to be counterintuitive, counterproductive. It's not going to give you what you think that you'll get from it. So there are ways to seek revenge against the narcissist. However, these are going to if you're in that space of still being hurt by the narcissist or still engaged with them, you're going to say, yeah, these are easier said than done. And they are, because it takes action to heal. You can't just say, oh, I want to heal, and I'm going to meditate once a day, and I'm going to journal, and that'll be my healing. You've got to do the deep inner work. And the deep inner work, when I say that, means to change the beliefs that you have about yourself, the true beliefs that you have about yourself. Chances are that what you believe about yourself is actually a lie. You believe that you're not good enough. You believe that there's no one out there that's better for you. You believe that the situation will never change. It'll never improve. It'll never get better. And you're stuck in the struggle and the suffering internally. You may be out of that relationship, and now they're triggering you, so you want to get revenge, and you're going to seek it. You're planning for it. You're conjuring up this thing you're going to do that's really going to hurt them. And there are things you can do that can hurt them. We'll go over those in just a second. Actually, there's 20 of them that we're going to go over. But when you hear them, you're going to think, well, that's easier said than done. And that is true, because it takes action to heal. It takes action to change your beliefs. It takes focus in the right direction, not focus on getting revenge. So that is all self-work, self-care, beliefs that you hold to be true about yourself. And so many people that I work with, when we get to the core and the cause and the very root of it, it actually has nothing to do with the narcissist. The wound was already there, and they just exposed it, and poured salt in it, because that's just what they do, because they're hurting themselves and they're projecting that onto you. So it becomes this game of projecting pain. Not a really fun game to play. So if you want to stop playing it and heal, let's talk. But otherwise, let's go over the 20 ways that you can get revenge on the narcissist. First one, don't take any revenge at all. And I just covered that. That is because when you do, all you're doing is telling them that they still have control over you. So the first way to get revenge is to not seek any revenge at all. There's so much momentum, there's so much power, there's so much time and energy and effort put behind seeking revenge, wanting revenge, planning to get revenge. Use that for you. Turn it around, turn it inward. Do self-care things for you. Distract yourself in healthy ways, because that's a distraction from you healing your pain, is wanting to seek revenge. So the first step is don't take any revenge at all. Number two, I tell this all the time to my daughter, so it works with a narcissist as well. Walk away. That doesn't mean that you can't think the most horrendous, horrible, nasty things in your mind, but when you're in a face-to-face engagement with them, maybe it's exchanging a child if you guys are done or separated, or maybe you still live with them, walk away. Literally, you can walk into another room. I have a beautiful friend who does the bitch and tap, and she'll start tapping to the different meridian and energy points while she's bitching and tapping, and she's walking away, and that helps to release that built up energy that you have from that situation. Again, I know, easier said than done, because it's really difficult to walk away from pain, because they gave it to you, you want to give it back to them, you want revenge. The best thing you can do to get revenge is walk away, because walking away tells them, I don't care. I'm not engaging. I'm elevating. I'm not stooping down to your level. How pathetic that you're at that level. How emotionally immature. And walk away. Like, remove yourself from that situation. And then if you are separated, if you are done, it is over, do not allow them to contact you on anything. On social media, don't allow them to still call you or text message you. I mean, block them. If you still have to engage, like I have to, it's all through email, because it's all able to be time-stamped and documented and used in court if needed. So that is the only method of contact that I allow between my ex and I. But other than that, don't stay in touch, or let them follow you, or don't follow them. Don't stay in contact with them on any other form or platform. And then ignore them. I cannot tell you the number of emails that I ignore unless it is something that has to do with the well-being and welfare of my child. I ignore it. I have so many emails that are just like stupid shit that he will send me, and it doesn't deserve or need a response from me unless it's a question that's pertinent about the well-being of our child. Other than that, don't just ignore it. Like, what they have to say anyway, when they try to contact you, they're trying to hook you back in. They're trying to hoover you back in. And this video is not going to go into hooking and hoovering or baiting, but that's what they're doing. So ignore it. I mean, if you really feel compelled, you can type up a response, but then don't ever send it. Don't hit send. Type it up. That way you get that out of you, and then spend your time backspacing and deleting, and then praise yourself and go, good job, girl. You didn't send that. Go you. Now go celebrate and praise yourself for that. So honor yourself for doing that. And then if you allow them the option to Hoover and they did already get in, you can always choose again. You don't beat yourself up and go, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I can't believe I've responded. What's wrong with me? That's got to stop. Just choose in that moment. Okay, if they write back, I'm not going to reply. I'm ending it right here. Don't beat yourself up if you do. You're human and you are a hurting human. So hurting humans want other hurting humans to join them because misery loves company. But make it a goal to get yourself out of that miserable hole, right? Don't stay in it. I mean, if you want to, just don't complain about being in there. Don't play this victim mentality of like, oh, he did this to me or she did this to me. No, they do not control your life. You do. And you control it with your thoughts, beliefs, your actions. So next, don't beg. Don't beg for them to come back. If you really feel like you've got to get something out, don't get it out and give it to them. They're just going to use it against you in the future. So talk to a friend about it. Talk to someone that you trust. 1 second. I have a phone call coming in. Climb that. Call you back, Mom. Don't try to save them. You probably spend so much of your time and energy in the relationship trying to save them because you didn't fall in love with them. You fell in love with this fake, masked, projected version of them. You fell in love with their potential. You saw the good in them and you saw who they could be if they only, but they didn't become that because they didn't want to. Otherwise, they would have. But you stepped into that role and you became the people pleaser, the fixer, and the saver, and you tried to save them. You have to realize that all of the things that you did were well-intended, but were not invested in the right person or in the right place. So again, not beating yourself up for that, but realizing that you can't save them. You can't save anyone other than yourself, unfortunately. We want to because we are kind, caring, loving people, but you're stepping into the fire to try and save them, and they are not wanting to get out themselves. So in that, the next step is to make peace with yourselves. This is so much of what we go through in the Transforming Past Pain to Present Power program that I have, that we go through to completely transform. And in that, you make peace with yourself. You make peace with the decisions that you made, with the choices that you made, with the things that you did, whether they were that of revenge or, ones that you just feel still guilt and shame around. You are able to lay that all down, let it go, make peace with it. And again, not chasing revenge, not trust them. You may have an interaction with them where they seem to be getting better. Don't trust that. Again, that's hook. That's a line that they're throwing out to see that you'll bite it so they can reel you back in again to use and abuse you, because that's what narcissists and abusers do. So don't trust them. Spend time with people that you trust. Spend time with friends. Get it out. Do things that are loving and caring and kind for yourself, like all the things that you couldn't do or were belittled for doing in the relationship. I used to be belittled for going to yoga because I was told, oh, who are you dressing up to go see? And I thought, seriously, I'm going to yoga and then I'll be right back. But now I can do that without coming home to someone who's biting my head off and calling me a WHORE because I'm wearing a sports bra because the class is 105 degrees and I'm sweating. So doing those things for you, spending time with people that you like being around. A lot of times when you're in the relationship with the narcissist, you spend time with friends, and the narcissist will start to belittle your friends, put them down, and then put you down for hanging around with people like that. And you're thinking, what are you talking? These are really good people. Like, if only you could, get to know them or put effort into getting to know them. So getting that story, those lies out of your head, and remembering that they're not your friends. They might seem to be nice and seem to want to help you out. I remember in the very beginning of the pandemic, the narcissist would send me emails like, hey, if you and your family need toilet paper or anything extra, just let me know. I'm here for you guys. And it seemed to be a friend and seemed to care. It's all hook. It's all bait. It was all lies. So remember, they're not your friends. Again, love yourself. Self-love. Love is one of the highest energy vibrations. Love, joy, compassion, kindness, forgiveness. When you stay in those high vibrations, everything changes. It's really difficult to get into when you're in those lower vibrations of the narcissist, of the shame, the guilt, the blame, the resentment, the anger, the revenge. All of those are much lower vibrations. So climbing your way out of that, coming up that emotional scale ladder. Again, we talk about all of this and how to do it very quickly and very easily within the program once you transform your inner self. Then don't repeat your mistakes, learn from your mistakes, right? Again, you're probably thinking easier said than done, Sarah. I don't know why I keep making the same mistake, but learning from your mistakes and not repeating them, seeing them as opportunities, not mistakes, opportunities and lessons for learning instead of mistakes. When we call them that, we feel really bad. If we call them opportunities, we start to feel a little different and much better, because that's exactly what they are. They were opportunities to take the lessons and the learnings and leave the rest. Just leave it there where that mistake was, but it's actually an opportunity for you to get to know yourself, for you to check in, for you to see where you need to continue to move forward in your own growth and journey. And then overcoming withdrawal. Many people say that being with a narcissist feels like a drug, and being with a narcissist is like getting unhooked from a narcissist is harder than getting unhooked from a drug or heroin. Many people make that comparison. It does, on average, take up to 7 times to leave an abuser. I say mine was 700 because it was. So it is like overcoming that withdrawal, and that is where distraction can be a good thing. So healthy distractions, of course, not a distraction with another narcissistic relationship. Count your blessings, stay in gratitude. I cannot tell you every day, I'm like, thank you. I'm grateful for, and I just start looking around. I'm grateful for pink nail polish because it looks pretty. I am grateful for coffee in the morning. I'm grateful for a nice bed. When you begin to stay in a state of gratitude and count your blessings, you literally cannot be angry and happy at the same time. So you get to choose. So even if you sound like a crazy person, and say it out loud. I'm thankful for the trash man that's coming today. That way I don't have to take out the trash. I'm thankful that I'm not a trash man, but what a beautiful job that he has to help and serve others. You can just go wherever you want with this. And then don't be a doormat. Again, that is from deeply rooted things and core issues that come from childhood that led you to behaving and acting and believing that it was okay to be treated that way. Again, that's where the inner work to change your unconscious beliefs comes into play. And then recognizing that you dodged a bullet, recognizing that you escaped hell. So you are out of that situation now. That is the best way to get revenge, is to recognize just what you've done, that you got out of that situation, recognizing, honoring, appreciating yourself for that, and just saying to yourself, I am incredible, I escaped hell. That is one of the best ways to get revenge, is to stay in that space, because when you honor that and you know that, you don't care, because you kind of laugh at them, because you're like, you're in your own hell still. That sucks for you. And every time I see my ex, every time we exchange, I'm like, man, your life sucks, because you are you, and I'm able to get away from you, but you're not able to get away from you. Oh my gosh, that must suck for you. And that's one of the best ways that I stay in the space of getting revenge. And you know what? I don't have to tell that person. I don't have to say that to their face. I can say it to myself and know, and just feel so good about it. So those are, I think I went through all 20 of them, 20 ways to get revenge with a narcissist. And remember that, remember that if you do seek revenge, if you act on the revenge that you want, what you're doing is continuing to allow that person to have control over you. And they had control over you the entirety of the relationship. It's time to change your life. So time to implement those 20 tips to get revenge without letting that person have control over you. So again, the greatest gift you can ever give yourself is a gift of healing, and healing those inner beliefs and lies that you believe as truths about yourself. So if you are ready to do that, hop on over to my website. You can click on the link in the Facebook banner and it'll take you straight there. There's a free masterclass that I have put up, so anyone can get more information by just simply enrolling and watching that. It's free, and then it'll give you all the information that you need and schedule a time for us to connect if you're interested in doing the one-to-one transformational therapy session together as well. All right, guys, that is all for today. I hope you all have a beautiful Friday and lovely weekend.